MMA Maniacs? It's time once again for your installment of Split Decision, your weekly MMA podcast brought to you from the Rula Family Inc. studios. Big thanks to Fight Fan Radio Networks. Hopefully they can get us up there. I don't know if they've been having some issues with the FTP, but big thanks to them anyway for their Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, as well as their iTunes account. And you can check us out on our own Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iTunes account, and our official website, which is splitdecisionmma.com.
Which is updating again.
Yay!
It's all good.
Yay!
It's because we linked it to Blogspot.
Exactly. Once we hooked up the Blogspot,
it was on.
You cleaned everything
You're
up.
lucky I invented that website. And of course, find us on Instagram and Twitter as SD_MMA. And Facebook, Split Decision MMA Podcast. Go show us some love there, and we're going to jump into it. Bueller and Dodge on the mics, and we have news. We have a recap from your Fight Pass card last week that happened in China that nobody cares about, and a preview of your upcoming Fight Pass card this weekend that nobody cares about.
And Bellator.
And Bellator.
That nobody cares
about. So on to what's happening
let's
now.
Let's start off with the Bellator that a couple people cared about. We had Quentin Rampage Jackson go up against Christian Mapumbo. And he knocked him out in the first round at 434. Also, you had King Mo defeat Mikhail Zahayets, unanimous decision. And they decided to have a scuffle in the cage.
That was awesome.
Right after Rampage's fight. Now, they brought King Mo down to the fight to kind of watch what was going on. The
scuffle that Vanderlei and Chael got into is more impressive than this.
Yes, very much so. So, I mean, we watched the clip. Basically, my favorite part about the whole thing is Rampage giving a shout-out to his sponsors multiple times by calling himself a monster, because he is sponsored by Monster. So he yells that, you don't know what you did, Bellator. You unleashed me. I'm a monster.
I'm a monster.
We need to get Skillet to do their music for him. Come in.
Feels like a monster.
So, and he's yelling this while wearing a Monster T-shirt and drinking a Monster energy drink with his Monster headphones on. So I thought that was pretty funny that he called himself.
Headphones?
Yeah.
Monster
I wonder if he screamed the same stuff when he was four-wheel driving.
No, that was I'm on a rampage because I'm Rampage. In my Rampage truck.
On the side of my truck. Rampage. Who robbed you? I don't know, but it said Rampage on his truck.
Apparently, I just saw like a MTV Cribs style show that some MMA like YouTube channel has of Rampage, and he puts Rampage on everything and explains that he's like, yeah, I put my name on everything. I don't know why, I just do it. It's like on his bed sheets. It's above his house. It's on his pool. It's like, yes, he puts Rampage.
He shows up at his friend's house like, man, you got my sheets. No, man, those are my sheets. They say Rampage on it. Man,
sometimes you just want to put your name on stuff.
I just rub my wiener on it.
Mine.
So it did seem very pro wrestling, very TNA induced. Maybe they're going to kind of cross-promote this a little bit further than they already have in TNA.
You said they both appeared on TNA,
They
right?
both wrestled in TNA.
And that's why we can't say
Just the whole facial feature thing, the whole... he had it ready.
Apparently, they told the commission, "Hey, don't worry about it. This is what's going to happen in the cage," according to a reporter that was there.
I don't know. I'm just saying, Rampage is riding high off his first round knockout. I think this is all raw emotion right now. I find it all very believable.
He says he's the man now. He took King Mo's spot of Bellator.
Yeah, I'll watch him fight. Why not?
Right.
I like watching King Mo. This would be probably the two most grandiose entrances ever in mixed martial arts. The only way
if it happened at Pride,
I don't know, man. I think the only way you could get a bigger entrance than this would be if King Mo was to fight Shoney Carter.
Right.
That would never happen. But damn, could you imagine?
If it's in Chicago, Shoney Carter is always ready to fight.
They would exactly. They would.
He
both
shows
come
up
down.
to every UFC with his cane and pimp hat,
Just
trying
in
to get a
case.
fight.
Just in
Hey,
case.
Dana. Anybody drops out, I'm ready.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready.
He's got his big goblet full of something.
Yeah.
I swear to God, dude. King Mo and Shoney Carter would have these showdown of the entrances. They'd come in on floats. They'd have tigers. They'd have hose, big chains, all kinds of stuff. It'd be
pretty
amazing.
sweet. I'd be okay with that.
I'd watch it just for that. I'd pay $10 just for the entrances.
So Anderson Silva is apparently already starting to roll on his leg now. We'll update with Anderson.
Well, because he's got a steel leg.
Yeah, right.
He's the bionic man.
I mean, he was hitting pads and mitts, no kicks, of course, but he was hitting pads and mitts. Was it last week? So this week's news is he's now starting to roll. He's doing jiu-jitsu now. I don't think he's escaping any leg locks anytime soon.
He's telling us, go ahead, try to leg lock me.
And you can't escape structural integrity. I mean, you can fake it all you want, but as soon as somebody grabs it and breaks, you're done again.
He's got a steel bar on it, dude. It ain't breaking. Might bend it. That would suck even more. How much more is that going to suck?
I can't even hear you anymore.
He's just got a J leg. Just bends the J leg.
Why does Brandon always put this kind of stuff on his screen?
What, boobies? Boobies.
It's not. It's.
I just thought I saw the name up there. I thought it just said felching.
What? Just read it fast.
Read it real fast, saw felching.
So if you haven't followed Felice Herring on Instagram yet, you need to. She has, since the beginning of her career in 2009, has been active social media user and actively using her sexuality to promote herself.
Good for her.
She talks about how she's a woman fighter. She wants to use both sexuality and the aggressiveness in the ring.
This is why I hate feminists, because they say that men, whatever, men are bad about this, but women have it and they flaunt it. They use it to get ahead. It's okay.
So they released these pictures just recently of her.
That's my favorite one.
Photo shoot.
One's my favorite
The socks. Yeah, that one's pretty good though.
All day.
Oh my goodness.
All day. Just motor butt.
So if you don't know who she is, again, you can follow her on Twitter, you can follow her on Facebook, you can follow her on Instagram, and if you check out the upcoming season of Ultimate Fighter 20, she will be in the strawweight tournament.
Felice Herring, not felching. So look that up on Instagram.
She's only 115?
Yeah.
She's thick for 115.
Yeah.
She's a spinner, bro. Now I'm being sexist.
I'm just wondering, could you do that with a little person? Could you spin them like a top?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Just wondering.
I don't know about the top thing, but you can eventually get the turnaround.
Have to rent one and find out.
So we have a new fight that's being announced for Ultimate Fight Night Cincinnati. We have Matt Brown going to be taking on Eric Silva.
Sweet.
What do you think about it? You like that fight?
I just like watching Matt Brown fight.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, this guy has got to be, heading towards.
What's the over/under he wears a sports bra into the ring just to prove a point and be funny?
That would be fantastic. And that would be a really smart move, actually, on his part.
I think he should wear one, and then when they tell me he has to take it off, he should protest.
I agree.
At least a control top.
Right.
It's like a training bra.
I mean,
it's called a bro.
A bro.
He doesn't need one. He's a
man's ear.
He's a pretty in shape guy. I'm just saying, I think it'd be funny.
Those are competing companies, Man's Ear and Bros.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I think you need to do it in protest. Like we've been preaching equality on the show for 3 weeks now.
You have been.
Come on, you guys are my brothers in arms here. Equality.
We're right behind you. Way behind you.
Don't worry, I'll be right there. Hold your breath till I get there.
Outside, looking in through the window. Another fight we have announced for UFC 173. This is going to be Junior Dos Santos making his return, going up against Stipe Miocic.
Great fight.
Do you like that fight?
Great fight. This is going to be something that we can. I mean, we're going to see more of what Junior Dos Santos does best, which is throw leather. But he's going to be.
Junior Dos Santos says he deserves another title shot if he beats Stipe Miocic.
How long ago
Sorry, I couldn't hold a straight face during that. Junior Dos Santos does not deserve a title shot anymore. He's done. As long as Kane holds the belt, he doesn't need a title shot.
But who's Kane going to fight in this division?
There's plenty of guys I'd rather see.
I don't know, but if you don't fight somebody soon,
he's injured.
I know, but especially in this weight division,
he's going to fight the winner of Travis Brown and Verdum. That's
these two guys. Who's had the most recent fight?
Miocic. Yeah, for sure. Is this JDS's first fight since his suspension with Cain Velasquez?
Yes.
Yeah,
and that was what, 6 months ago? No. Because that's the one you said was just a sloppy display of fat man
it was like
touching each other.
3 years ago.
No, he was talking about Mark Hunt and Bigfoot on that.
Oh, that's right.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, that's right. I got
Junior Dos Santos is a sexy beast. Cain Velasquez could probably drop to 205, but Junior Dos Santos he's like a male model.
What? All right. Ultimate Fighter 20. We have obviously the all strawweight women's tournament. The coaches were announced. Gilbert Melendez signing his new contract going up against Anthony Pettis. Melendez has immediately said he was going to be bringing Jake Shields and both Diaz brothers as coaches.
Oh, you got to believe I'm bringing in the Diaz brothers.
Tough muff, right?
Yeah. and then
20.
And then Nate had to tell him, he's like, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry, but
I might not have a contract." Doesn't matter. He can still be a coach.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They've had guys. Ken Shamrock brought in a bodybuilder / nutritionist.
No, but
He's a head coach, not the main coach.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he's in a battle with UFC, I doubt that Dana's going to want him on set.
Dana will let him do it.
Really?
Publicity. Why not?
Because every time they look at him with the camera.
And actually, Dana has actually said that he no longer has anything to do with the show anymore.
Yeah.
Like after season 7.
He shows up, does the intros, and does the.
He's like a paid cast member at this point.
Yeah.
But he does
the intros and he does the evaluations and then bringing guys in, and then he walks away.
And everything in Canada he's been doing over a screen, right?
Yeah, and he even says he doesn't even show up on set anymore unless something is really bad.
Yeah.
Like unless somebody
'cause
threw
it's
another
still-
guy through a window or
It's
something.
still his brand, but there's like, as far as the producers go and stuff like that, like he doesn't really.
These hired
care.
guys.
It's like arraignment in court now. You don't even see the judge. You just talk
Yeah.
to a screen.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Mac Danzig retired.
What is the deal with his retirement
I
statement?
loved
here?
his brother's music.
I liked when his brother got knocked out of that concert.
That was hilarious. He put up this like 4-page
That's-
thing on Facebook.
A little bit of something about animals and PETA. What the?
Dude, I love
I'm
animals.
telling you, paragraph 7 said something
do.
about animals and PETA.
I love animals in a
Paragraph
PETA. A PETA pocket full of any animal is really good.
I agree
I don't
with
see
that.
anything about PETA.
I swear to God, I saw something. Alzheimer's, diarrhea.
You also saw felching, so we don't know how your reading skills are doing.
True story.
You see what you want to see.
So basically, he just said, this is his letter to his fans. He said he knows he doesn't have that many, but he wanted to make sure that he let them know what was going on.
Well, he's right there, so that's good.
He says after 13 years of competing in MMA, 7 years in the UFC, he says, he appreciates everything they gave him, all the opportunities they gave him. Joe Silva gave him the fights that were not just about numbers, but actually about guys he fought and how he fought. He has no regrets, and basically he's going to step away. It's pretty long. I don't want to read
It's
this.
Alzheimer's, what? Huh? Oh, as a parent, I must take into consideration how important my sustained brain function is and how tragic it would be to have Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, etc.
He could end up with it anyway.
He's saying, no one ever forced me. I chose to be a fighter. I have no regrets.
Well, that's fine then. If he gets it now, we can just blame it on his vegan diet instead of being a fighter.
It's the world's most dangerous vegan.
This is true.
They should do this when you go into any pro contact sport now. I say your name, completely understand that I'm doing full contact sport.
Right?
And that this is the possibility of the full contact sport. And this is why I'm getting paid a buttload of money for this full contact sport.
Well, that's why he's retiring now. He
Yeah.
knows the risks. He doesn't want to take them anymore.
So are you sad to see Mac Danzig go?
No.
What's your most favorite Mac Danzig moment?
Him losing.
I would have to say the last one where he wore all white shorts and said "not for sale" on his butt,
That was pretty funny.
which means his butt was not for sale.
Yeah.
I was in. He got
Might have
he
been
got
open, but
he
not
got
for
like
sale.
one pretty clean knockout win. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I don't know. I mean, I got to give it to him. He's the only like hardcore vegan I've ever seen in my life that doesn't look like a walking skeleton.
CM Punk was vegan.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
for a little
surprising.
while.
He did realize.
Brian Danielson is vegan. He's also a pro wrestler. He's in pretty good shape.
It's like he didn't know that like eggs and dairy are on that list, right?
Yep.
All right, just want to make sure. I'm a vegan. That's a steak. I'm a vegan. You can't eat
all right.
steak if you're
No,
vegan.
No, this cow ate nothing but vegetables.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. So now we're getting a little more information about the TRT issue that's going on. A doctor has said that one of the reasons Vitor was pulled from his fight is because he would need a full 90 days just to adjust on life without TRT. Not even going to training, not even going anything, just 90 days
On life.
adjust to life.
Wow.
Chael Sonnen has released a statement saying that it basically sucks. He says it puts me in a spot because medically I do need testosterone. I have to look at it carefully. They made no bones about it. It's out. We all have to deal with that, whether we like it or not. The best way to describe what it is, completely terrible. Horrible feeling. This is a medicine, and it's a medicine I need to live normally on a day-to-day basis. People say it's a performance enhancer, and there are a lot of guys that take it as an enhanced performance. But testosterone is more than a performance enhancer for me. It is a life enhancer. My life is better. My attitude is better. I have more energy. I need less sleep. It makes me feel better in many different regards. It makes me a better husband, a better neighbor, a better pet owner. I understand the abuse, but this is medicine that helps people with a problem.
I think all those refer to sex. He should just try.
Seriously, huh? If I get sex, I'm a better parent. I'm a better pet owner. If I don't get sex, everybody else is screwed.
Everybody else suffers.
If I don't get screwed,
So-
you are all screwed.
Exactly.
We have to think about, Vitor Belfort obviously was the most in your face about taking TRT and the poster boy for TRT, and everyone was saying, look how much he's abusing it. But you have to think Todd Duffy, Forrest Griffin, Dan Henderson, Quentin Jackson, Nate Marquardt, Frank Mir, Shane Roller, all these guys
Right.
had TRT exemptions for one reason or another.
They all just need to start smoking weed.
Right.
I do agree that a lot of these guys probably didn't need it, and some of these guys do.
Right.
And that's where I think it's going to suck again for guys like Chael Sonnen, and probably I would like to say Dan Henderson is probably one of those guys who also probably needs it to compete at the same level, being an older guy. But some of these guys are really young
Well,
guys,
it's
and
just-
unless
and
they
that's
like
the
chopped
thing.
off a testicle or something, I mean, come on.
It's just like the old weed card, you know. I know a doctor will give you a weed card.
Right.
It's like now I've talked to people just here in Modesto. It's like, well, no, my friend's doctor will give you TRT if you go
Right.
slip him $100 or something. They'll
Right.
get you a prescription for it, and then all of a sudden you're on TRT.
And you're yoked.
You still got to pay for the TRT.
Yeah.
but you're getting the
Well, I still gotta pay for weed.
you know, quote unquote approved through a doctor. So
Yeah,
I
they
can see
never
the
gave you
issues with
free
it.
weed.
They were like, I got my card, cool's for my free weed.
You know,
What do you mean that's not an option? I thought you give me a card, I get free weed.
Yeah, you get a sample Z-Pack, don't you? The day you get your card, like,
No.
here's your sample Z-Pack of weed.
Does it at least get like punched?
Like
was it
every-
buy 5 baggies?
No, it's just like
10
5
bags.
little doses. Like, here's the red bud, here's the green bud, here's some chronic, some purple Kush.
It's not
Alaskan Thunderfuck is the last one.
It's not like that.
It goes in your pill vial, you know, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Friday is just off the chain.
Yeah, because Saturday ain't got shit to do, so.
And it's a bigger box.
Sunday's a little
Cheese
lighter,
and
you gotta go to
joint.
work on Monday.
Sunday's cocaine. It's a cabbie. What?
Yeah.
I'm going to work.
So I mean, how do you feel about all this? A lot of these guys are saying that, you know, it's, and there's doctors that are saying it's going to
Learn to live without it.
completely change guys' lives where
I
they
get it. I get it.
may
Doesn't
not.
matter.
There's a
you-
doctor that said, you know, obviously these younger guys, he asked, what drugs are you on? And he goes, I can tell if you're lying. Like, I know if you're lying. And some of these guys may not be able to
do you
actually,
mean?
yeah,
What do you mean?
might not actually be able to produce testosterone anymore after taking so many actual
then
synthetic drugs.
You can't compete. If you can't compete without
Right.
it, you can't
Yeah.
compete.
It's your fault. It's your
So
fault.
how many other fighters do you think are going to drop off the scene? How many fighters? I mean, we haven't seen any yet, other than Vitor not being able to take his fight right away.
It's going to be a slow thing, and what I was telling you when we talked about this before is that we're going to see a situation here where there's probably going to be a bit of a lull with the fighters.
Yeah.
But then we're going to see that the natural athletes come out, like the GSPs are going to start making their resurgence back. Because if you look at guys like Nick Diaz, who still is he's a triathlete, you know what I mean? He's an amazing athlete and an amazing fighter. But all these guys with this natural ability are kind of getting overshadowed by these
Right.
big guys on the TRT. So you're going to see, it's going to take a minute, but you're going to see a wave of these natural fighters come back to the
Right.
limelight. which
That's
is
the
great.
everything I've read into it. That's what they say. They say that you're going to see this surge of natural fighter who's been held back by all these other people who
Yep.
not only had the TRT but just had the money for doctors and supplementation and way to mask of what they're doing. So now that they're under the microscope, these people who've just been doing it all natural, you're going to see a surge of them come
Yeah.
into the sport.
Well, that's what you see in baseball too. When they really started cracking down hard on baseball,
Yep.
all of a sudden the guys who were yoked out of their minds, like Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds, you don't see too many of those anymore.
No.
Now you got guys who are all stars like Buster Posey, who is not huge by any means. You know,
He's on the shit. I don't care.
But I mean, you got
He's
Josh
shredded.
Hamilton, and I mean,
he's shredded. He looks like he's 12,
No,
dude.
no, I know.
you know, Yoenis Cespedes, who just won the home run derby and is cranking him out there, and he's not on anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that's exactly it. You're going to see a surge of that kind of stuff in mixed martial arts, in my opinion. That's kind of how I feel it's going to go. Yeah, maybe it'll suck for a little bit, but it's not going to be too terrible.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine. If it's a level playing field for everybody, then someone like Chael Sonnen, if he can't hang, then he has to go back on his TRT, and then he just is a full-time commentator, which is great for him.
it'll still be fine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, somebody else
Again, Vitor Belfort dropping down a lightweight is probably going to happen.
cruiserweight.
Yeah, he might drop 2 weight classes.
Right.
Seriously.
He's going to be fighting in the women's division.
It'd be a good fight against Cyborg.
I'd pay to watch that.
I'd watch those two dudes go at it.
So we have a little bit of sad news. We have South African fighter Buto Gulayan,
All
or
right.
Gulayan, has passed away after his recent TKO loss at EFC Africa 27.
Was it as a result of his loss?
Yes.
That sucks.
Immediately after the bout, he was stabilized on the on-site medical team, transported to the hospital. He was treated for swelling and bleeding of the brain.
Right. I don't ever want to go to a hospital in South Africa.
Right?
You know, that's
Or Africa in general.
just Africa in general. Like, you pretty much sign a contract on yourself when you go to Africa to fight.
Now you have to think that this isn't anything. They're saying that this isn't the first death in MMA.
No, it's like the third, isn't it?
There's
And they
actually
even
quite a
said-
few. This is the list here. We have it right there.
And from what I read, even if it was to happen in the U.S., the type of
9 people total.
the type of trauma that he had,
Some of these are in unsanctioned.
it's very hard to relieve that type of pressure. And even in the U.S., he might have gone into a long coma.
Yeah.
So
So these are the deaths. Okay, so you have a list here. These are deaths that are because of MMA. Not MMA fighters that died, but the cause of death was ruled something after a bout.
Right. We have Douglas Dredge was the first ever. There was in 1998 in the Ukraine. It was an
I remember that.
unregulated bout. He had died of severe brain injuries.
Yeah, I
we
remember that
have
one.
a Korean man known only as Lee in South Korea. Injured entirely, unregulated bout. Cause of death, heart attack. Sam Vasquez.
I remember that one in Texas.
Yep. Blunt head trauma. First ever death in sanctioned MMA following KO loss in third round. Michael Kirkham in a regulated bout. He had a is that spider bite? What is that? Subarachnoid hemorrhage of the brain.
Subarachnoid.
Yeah, hemorrhage of the brain. It could have been a second impact syndrome. Matt Mittenheimer also face kicks to the ground opponent.
Unregulated,
no ambulance standing by. Cause of death, cerebral brain hemorrhage. Dustin Jensen, subdural hemorrhage.
Unregulated bout again.
Yep. Another regulated bout. Tyrone Mims. The results were inconclusive. No evidence of brain trauma or concussion. No drugs or alcohol. They just don't know what happened.
His heart just stopped.
He just stopped. It says there's just nothing there that explains his death. He went home after his fight and died.
Right. Okay.
Felix Nichuiku. I cannot pronounce that. Felix Pablo.
Sure.
Again, unregulated bout. No evidence the fighter died from trauma he sustained during an unregulated mixed match. And the full report is not even due yet. It hasn't even come up yet. This happened April last year. We still don't have a full report on that guy. And then now recently, the guy in South Africa.
It says right here there's going to be more deaths in mixed martial arts.
Oh, it's going to happen.
There's going to be more deaths in every sport. And just like it says up top, boxing has deaths every year.
Yeah, it said like 1,500.
It's mostly in the lighter weights too.
Yeah, boxing has recorded nearly 1,500 deaths since 1700s. Auto racing has killed countless drivers. Spectators are not even immune. Single accident 1955 killed 60 spectators and the driver. 28 people died during running and marathons just from 2000 to 2009. When you have cheerleading killed 42 people in 1982.
What?
That's what it says right
Dude,
there.
basket toss, bro. It's dangerous. There's actually a documentary on cheerleading. And my buddy was always saying that cheerleading shouldn't be a sport. And he watched the documentary. He's like, cheerleading's totally a sport.
7 athletes died during the Olympics. I mean,
well, they even had a triathlon in the Middle East somewhere where they were swimming in the ocean or something like that. And I think 2 or 3 people died, like no bullshit, of like dehydration swimming in the ocean.
Oh yeah. It's easy to get dehydrated in the water because you think you're completely wet and you don't feel it and you're sweating and you're losing all that moisture. Happens in water polo a lot.
I just didn't know you sweat in water. That's new to me. Because when I get in water, I'm fucking lazy. I'm not doing anything.
Okay, you don't.
No, I don't.
You don't.
I just float.
Uh-oh, jellyfish.
Shooting submarines. just shooting submarines in the pool. Dude.
Choo!
We recently talked about Jake Shields is going to be going up against Hector Lombard, UFC 171. That's going next week. We'll get a little bit closer into that, but he has recently come out on MMA Junkie and said that he's going to take him down, submit him, and get his title shot.
I'm just totally stoked to wait. I can't wait to see the corner for Shields.
It's going to be a gang. It's
awesome.
209. What?
Do you think Jake Shields can take down, submit Hector Lombard?
I think he can take him down. I think his rear naked choke is something Hector Lombard's going to have to look out for. But if Jake Shields wants to pitter-patter box him on his feet, he's going to get his ass handed to him.
He's going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
Do you think he earns a title shot? Beating Hector Lombard.
The whole division's so shaken up right now thanks to GSP leaving and the two guys.
Would you give Jake Shields a title shot to the winner of Robbie Lawler?
No, I would give him a fight against Rory
McDonald.
That's what I would do.
So you're saying Rory McDonald hands down the number 1 contender? He gets title shot.
No. That's what we said because Rory wants the next shot.
I know Rory wants the next shot too, but you still think he needs a fight.
So those are the 2 people that should fight each other. If Shields wins, then he should fight Rory, and then they should go. The winner of that should get the shot.
No, if Shields wins, he should fight Rory. But if
Lawler wins,
if Lawler wins, Nick Diaz comes back immediately.
Okay,
and just bypasses McDonald and Shields.
Well, I don't think he's ever going to fight Shields. So
no.
He's his training partner.
No, I know. I understand that.
Who would win that fight, you think?
Diaz.
Diaz.
Hands down.
You don't think that Shields would just Russell fuck him to death?
No, because
then he would because he would respect Diaz enough not to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they don't know each other and they fight.
I think he would try.
I would be more leery of Diaz's submission than I would of Shields.
And his stand up, yeah.
Stand up is terrible on Shields.
I like how you call it pitter pat because that's really what it is.
It is. Been saying it for years. It's like he would be a lot more dangerous if he had some hands.
Ooh, I like when she bit her lip.
Dude, I can watch this over
when
and over
they bite
again.
that lip.
I just watch it over
Oh no!
And she knows with the eyebrows. Yeah. Anyway, this is Joe Rogan basically was on K-Rock's Kevin and Bean show recently.
I need a napkin.
Talking about
just use your hat.
the UFC Bantamweight Women's Division. And they said, basically, there's nobody left for Ronda to fight. There's no one left.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of people.
They say there's nobody, and Joe Rogan said, you're incorrect. I wish I could tell you what I know. I wish I could tell you. I know some secret stuff. I know secret stuff, and I can't tell you. You might actually know.
Joe Rogan knows all kinds of secret squirrel shit.
Right.
He knows where Bigfoot's hiding. He knows where the aliens really live.
I can't tell you. I can say no more than I've already said. I will tell you this, and this is a K-Rock exclusive, except we're going to break this here. I don't think anybody else has ever read this today. Within the next week or so, there should be a huge announcement that's going to come about women's fighting, and I'll be back on the show and we can talk more. It's going to be crazy. It's madness. I wish I could talk about it, but I would betray the confidence of my friend and employer. So, Dave Metzler recently basically took that and said there's 3 people that could possibly fight Ronda Rousey right now that would garner that amount of craziness or madness. One, Gina Carano coming back would probably be one of the biggest women's pay-per-view in history. However, Gina Carano hasn't fought since 2009.
And she's too pretty.
I love her.
I don't let her.
Dude, my buddy Rick
So
lives out in Vegas, and he saw her double fist and ice creams, and I'm like, I'd still hit it.
I would just stop the story short. I seen her double fisting.
Yeah. Just stop.
We didn't even recognize her because she was so big. He was like, damn, that fat chick looks like Gina Carano double fisting ice creams. That fat chick is Gina Carano double fisting ice creams. I'm like, I don't even care. Take me to her house. Let's throw this out there real quick.
So Gina Carano obviously has not fought since 2009. I don't think she gets an immediate title shot. Even if she were to sign with the UFC, she definitely needs another fight. But yes, marketing-wise, smart choice.
Yeah.
2, they said Holly Holm. Holly Holm, though, is only 5-0, only fighting in New Mexico. Was offered apparently a contract with the UFC, and her management turned it down, saying it wasn't a big enough contract. They didn't feel it was a big enough contract yet. And then 3, Cyborg coming over and fighting. But again, Dana White said she has to prove she can make 135 and not be a man.
Well, Gina Carano,
that wasn't quite
that's
exactly
the thing,
his
though,
words,
too, is that Gina Carano had trouble making weight, too.
Yeah.
So, that's a silly...
I talked to Albert about this, and he said the same thing. He's like, Carano can't make 135.
Yeah.
But here's why
too big.
the Carano thing works. He can
Hollywood star versus Hollywood star.
Yeah, and he can set it up, and are we
gonna have No Holds Barred 2, the movie and the match, just like they did in WWF? Does anybody else remember that? Where they brought in Tiny Lister to fight Hulk Hogan in the WWE after he had a movie where he fought him in the WWE?
I don't remember that now.
Dude, where were you people?
Well, they could use
making out with girls.
Yeah,
I was forbidden to see No Holds Barred as a child, and then by the time I turned 18, I was like, I don't watch this piece of shit.
No, but with Carano, he'll be able to control the whole fight. If he brings in Cyborg, she's gonna fucking try to rip her face off, and the's no control there. And then, like I've said before,
are you trying to tell me women's MMA is fixed?
I'm saying that this last fight for Rousey could be fixed, and I'm saying last because she's got multiple movie deals. She does things in year patterns. She's coming up on the 4th year of being involved in this, and she could just walk away as a champion in her weight class.
She says she's got 2 more years in MMA before she even considers retirement. Recent interview. 2 more years before she even considers it.
Doing the 2 movies that she's already signed on to do, she's not going to be able to fight.
She said she will.
She's going to promote The Expendables. Gina Carano's going to promote Fast and Furious 7. And there you go, right? Even though she died.
No, that's like you say. That makes sense.
I have a completely
most
different
money
theory that's
they
not
can
even
control.
I have a different theory that's not even on here.
What do you have?
Go ahead.
Kira Gracie.
You think Kira Gracie's about to make her MMA debut?
I think it's entirely possible. Kira Gracie. I don't know if it'd be crazy madness, but in Joe Rogan's mind, it would be.
Oh, hands down.
It's a Gracie name because the whole Gina Carano thing. The problem with that is what I see is when they brought Gracie back to fight Matt Hughes, which was stupid. I mean, Gracie
wanted it.
Gracie wanted. It was still a stupid fight, and
right.
we all watched it because it was Hoist Gracie coming back to the cage. He kind of has the same idea with Gina Carano coming back with years of ring rust. Cool, you sell some pay-per-views, but you introduce Kira Gracie, who it's possible she's ready to come and make her MMA debut. I mean, she's been training hard. She's a world champion. She's a black belt. She's been working her hands nonstop for like 3 years now. I think that could be a possible announcement.
What's her record in MMA?
I'd have to look it up. I really don't know. I really, really don't know. And that's the tough thing too. I mean, why would you couldn't just throw her to the wolves if she doesn't have
I have no idea.
It's KYRA. All right. If she doesn't have any experience, then what are you supposed to do?
But after watching the McCann fight, that's what it kind of looked like too.
The McMahon fight?
Yeah, it looked like
fight.
No, that's McCann.
That's funny. I love it. Yeah.
She was McMahon. She is now a McCann.
So it looks like all she's done is win gold medals in jiu-jitsu tournaments.
She has no MMA
and she's been doing
experience.
Yeah.
0. She's 0-0.
She's currently training. All it says currently training for her debut in MMA.
I don't think you're giving McMahon enough credit.
It was fast, bro.
I'm not saying it wasn't. We've seen plenty of fights in it.
No,
I don't think it. I don't think it was fixed. I don't think it was.
No. I'm
easy.
not.
I don't think it was.
You don't think it was easy?
I think it was Ronda coming out to prove a point with striking because that's all she's been saying she's been working on.
Right.
Yeah.
And McMahon catching a knee to the liver and dropping and shutting down.
God.
And she even said, "I needed to get up faster, but I couldn't." Like,
No. It made me want to take a shit, bro.
right? Like,
I'm just like, but seriously, I mean, what do we have left then in the women's division without some kind of big announcement? You got Alexis Davis and you got Holly Holm if they bring her out, and you got Kat Zingano who can't even fight. You know?
she needs
It's
to come
like,
back.
Have you noticed how much they've been making her smile lately? No, there's no more.
Ronda?
Yeah.
No more
She's-
angry bitch face.
Well, here's the thing. She even said coming up to the McMahon fight, I respect everybody in the division. I'm actually pretty happy. Except for when it comes to Misha fucking Tate. She hates Misha fucking Tate. Like, everyone's making a big fucking deal about how she was a bitch to Misha Tate. She doesn't like her. Everybody else, she's like, I have respect for her. I'll fight him. I'm ready to go. You saw her debut in Strikeforce where she was still talking shit.
Yeah.
Shook hands with all her opponents then. Was smiling then. Even then she still had the aggression in her eyes and still was, had a good stare down and all that stuff. But when it came to Misha Tate, all bets are off.
Whatever.
She wanted to beat the living shit out of her.
Team Tate. Team Tate.
Of course.
Team Tate.
Enjoy your cupcake, sir. Enjoy your cupcake.
I would enjoy that cupcake for at least 7 minutes.
Probably 2.
Well, 7 minutes after.
And you have to fight Brian Caraway.
That's all right. I can do that. That's no problem. So Ronda Rousey has a strategy.
Ronda Rousey says she thinks she can beat Floyd Mayweather Jr. That's
First,
what,
she said she could beat Cain Velasquez.
Right.
Now she said she could beat Floyd Mayweather.
But they asked her, how would you do it?
Naked.
And she says, I could stand a chance. She says, I'll tell you what to do. I'm going to drop down to the ground and crawl over to him as fast as I can and grab him by... I would stand up. I wouldn't be anywhere near him. I would just do a little army crawl. He'd have to run away. I'd be skittering after him like that one dude in Bloodsport that was doing the whole monkey crawl fight system. I would do that, bear crawl over, hit him too low for him to hit me, tackle him, and then on the ground, that's where I'd win.
She understands that Floyd Mayweather has hit a woman before, right? Like
He's not above it. He's not above
he
it.
did time in jail in Vegas for punching a woman.
He's not above it.
I'd pay to watch that fight.
I think it's solid strategy.
Solid, yeah.
She could crawl at me any day.
Not if she plans to punch you in the dick.
She's not going to punch you in the dick. She's going to tackle you and then punch you in the dick.
What if it's the weird crawl like that thing from The Ring?
Right?
The spider crawl.
Yeah.
I'm all right with it. Is it backwards in her
The
hair's
backwards
back?
spider crawl, like that from The Exorcist. Yeah.
So getting into, we're going to get to the Ultimate Fight Night, Gustafsson versus Manuel soon. Gustafsson is recently on the MMA Hour with Albert's favorite host, Elder Hawani. And basically he says, it sucks going from pay-per-view to the top of the Fight Pass card.
That sucks bad.
This
dude.
is going to be the first Fight Pass card you have to pay for.
Is he,
that's gotta
wait,
suck.
here's a question. Does he have Fight Pass revenue sharing?
Does anybody?
Yeah, that's a good question.
We should ask any of the fighters that we could possibly talk to.
Fight Pass revenue
Yeah,
sharing.
because, I mean, at least at the end of every pay-per-view, they have to release what the total buy-in and all that was. For
Right.
Fight Pass, do they have to release any of that?
I don't think so.
And especially because when you first get on Fight Pass, your first month's free, right?
Yes.
And then you can cancel before you just charge for the next one?
Yeah.
Huh.
But I think this one is the first month that it's paid. So if you signed up ahead of time, your first month's free.
Huh.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So we have some events that are going on. This Friday, we have the Bellator card going down on Spike. Edward Dantes going up against Rafael Silva. Ryan Martin
LeVar Big Johnson
going
fight,
up against LeVar Johnson. Peter Graham going against Mighty Mo. Alexander Volkov going up against Mark Halata.
Cool card. That's actually a pretty cool Bellator card.
So
If you like free fights, that's one worth
like
watching.
free watch it on Spike. And then we can go over the Ultimate Fighter China. That was on Fight Pass. I watched the main event. That was about it.
I watched an animated GIF of the main event.
Oh, Dong Young Kim knocked John Hathaway the fuck out with a spinning back elbow.
Back elbow, yeah.
Caught him right on the temple.
Did anybody check to see if he shit himself?
And he just dropped. And then he followed it up pretty quickly. He says now he wants a title shot.
Dong just broke the top 10. Whatever. I mean, you can want all you want. Shit in the other hand. See what you feels like first.
Matt Matrio knocked out Sean Jordan. Hatsuyoki defeated Ivan Menjivar in unanimous decision. And your winner for the welterweight division for Ultimate Fighter China is Zhang Lipeng.
Did you say China?
China, yeah. And he defeated Wang Sai.
Breaker 1, China. Poor Ivan Menjivar. Too bad for him. But
Yeah.
If you don't, leave it in the hands of the judges. What are you going to do?
So, and then you can watch coming out of London. You have your first ever card that you have to pay
Bad
for on
food,
Fight
worst
Pass.
weather, fish and fucking chips, London.
Yes. Phil Harris going up against Louis Gannat.
Awesome.
Yeah, Igor
Araujo going up against Danny Mitchell.
Daniel Mitchell.
You got Davey Grant and Roland DeLorme. That's cool.
Yeah.
If you like jiu-jitsu, he's going to hopefully put on a good show for you. Brad Scott going up against Claudio Henrique da Silva. These guys don't even have links to their records. Luke Barnett going up against Matt Nielsen, and Cyril Diabate, the Snake, up against ER Latifi.
After getting knocked out from the hippo.
True. That's why he's on the undercard.
On a Fight Pass card.
On a Fight Pass card. And then you move on to your main event. You got Gunnar Nelson up against Amari Akhmedov. Just stop me anytime you want to break down a fight, man.
Brad Pickett going against Neil Seery, Michael Johnson, Melvin Gillard, your main event, Alexander Gustafsson, Jimmy Manawa. Do you care about any of these fights that are going down in London on the Fight Pass card?
I care
Melvin
because
Gillard and Michael Jackson might be cool.
Good fight. As
about-
Rampage would say back in the day, we got some black on black crime.
what about if Manawal wins? They already said that they're not going to give him.
They won't give him a title shot.
But if he wins,
Does he get off the Fight Pass and get an actual pay-per-view? Yes.
yeah.
But not as a main event. Co-main event? Maybe. Main card for sure.
How does Gustafsson go from chasing the belt to headlining a freaking Fight Pass card?
Because they said that they wanted to make a Fight Pass card worth paying for. And this is the best they came up with.
$10? I don't know, man. What time does it run? I just don't know, dude.
I don't know.
Still not making it worth my while. Not happening. So that's it. That's this
would you
Saturday
buy it?
on your Fight Pass.
No.
I mean, who do you think who's going to win? Alexander Gustafsson or Jimmy Manawa?
Gustafsson.
Especially since by the time I really want to watch it, someone's going to have a link to watch it for free anyway.
Manawa's got good knockout power. He's been flying under the radar, hiding in the shadows.
I think Gustafsson still got it.
Gustafsson still got it?
Hiding in the shadows. What's that a reference to?
That
He's a person of color, my friend.
Is he?
Is he?
Apparently the UFC doesn't recognize it, but yes, he is.
It's because he's Australian, right? New Zealand. What about Michael Johnson, Melvin Gillard?
I hate Melvin Gillard.
Do you think he's going to get
not
out?
on a personal level, but just as an athlete.
How does Melvin Gillard not have a link? Oh, you already clicked on it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I was just like, how does he not have a link?
Michael
I
Johnson?
was trying to figure out when the last time he got busted for cocaine was. I was in an argument with somebody.
Obviously, Michael Johnson has to get him on the ground to win this fight.
And he can. He's an excellent wrestler. His hands have been looking really good.
And as long as he's got a little bit of submission skill, he'll beat Gillard. But you got to stay away from those bombs that Gillard throws because
if he tries to stand up, he's going to knock
he
him out.
will knock you out.
So you
Without
going to take
question.
Gillard?
No, I'm going to take Michael Johnson. I'm going to hope that he
Safe
plays.
bet.
Yeah, it's just a smart strategy. Gets him on the ground and goes for a submission.
What about one punch going up against Neil Seery?
I'll take Brad Pickett.
With his jiu-jitsu all day since he hasn't knocked anybody out lately?
Basically, my logic is a guy.
Just because you said that, he's going to knock him out.
I know.
Doesn't matter.
Hoping.
It's a guy you can click on versus a guy you can't. So yeah,
This is just Wikipedia, sir.
doesn't matter. If you don't got a wiki page, you ain't winning. You don't get wiki till you win something, son.
Gunnar Nelson, Omar Akhmedov.
I got a wiki page because I'm 1-0.
I don't think you do.
I don't.
His wiki page is for something altogether different.
Don't look that up right
Felching. Look that up.
now. I grossed Brent out one morning because I asked him. I said, "If you felch a fleshlight, is that still called felching?"
Oh, that's where we said you put a straw in it. It's like a milkshake.
From the back end?
My milkshake brings back to the bottom.
It's the most disgusting thing ever, man. Speaking of fleshlights, you got one on your screen there.
That is like a pint of Guinness.
I dip my balls in it.
Yeah.
That wraps up.
Somebody needs to get home.
That wraps up Split Decision. Thanks for listening. Of course, we do this weekly. We bring you the MMA news. We break down fights. We preview upcoming fights, things of that nature. Thanks to Fight Fans Radio Network for supporting us all this time. Check us out on their Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, as well as their iTunes account. We have our very own Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud accounts as well, and you can look us up on those. You can also find us on SplitDecisionMMA.com. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram, SD_MMA. It is Bueller and Dodge from the Ruloff Family Inc. studio signing off. Have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.